Hi, my name is Vitaly Ilyin. I'm Chief Architect for ICKnowledge. ICKnowledge is the boutique consulting company. We provide consulting services in the areas of enterprise architecture, innovation, and strategy. Innovation areas nowadays cover cloud computing, API management, as well as big data, obviously big topic. So we have parallel series of sessions running on big data. And today we also decided to give a session on the topic of healthcare insurance. So as I said, Ilyin Consulting Knowledge or ICKnowledge provides consulting services in the areas of enterprise architecture, innovation, and strategy. And primarily we are getting involved with companies in two or three verticals, depends on the way you look at it. It's financial, including the investment banking and your regular retail or core banking, and insurance, covering both P&C and healthcare insurance. Healthcare insurance is obviously a big area. And one of the things that we decided to look at today is give you really rundown, give you an overview of healthcare interoperability messaging standards. So the messaging standards that are used for electronic data exchange within healthcare insurance, and how the standards relate to HIPAA and HIPAA compliance. So let's start. The presentation is fairly short. It consists of 3 slides, so the agenda is 3 slides. So the first slide, we're going to look at HIPAA and relationship of HIPAA. And HIPAA stands, for those who don't know, and hopefully everybody who is listening to this video knows that HIPAA stands for Healthcare Information Portability and Compatibility Act, and how that act relates to the subset, or to the set of standards that fall under the ANSI, which is American National Standards Institute, two bodies as ASC and HL7. So we'll look at that. The second slide, we're going to look at the side-by-side comparison between X12 transactions and HL7 events and messages. And the third thing, we'll just speak on HL7 FHIR. It's a new standard. It's a very young standard, which is in its infancy. That's been developed under HL7 umbrella, or within that governance body. All right, so let's look at slide number 1. So this is a very informative slide, and it has lots of information. It has a lot of information. So this slide will represent the meat for this presentation, and I want you to really understand it. So the way to look at it is this. So first of all, you see that there is this large a quadrant, or, well, it's not rectangle, it's really quadrant. So this large quadrant is represents ANSI, so American National Standard Institute. So everything that's happening within the institute, right? Everything that's happening within the American National Standard Institute body. So then you see two circles. Look at the outer bound circle. So the first one is your orangey looking one, and it's called ASC X12, right? And it stands for American Subcommittee. So this is subcommittee within the ANSI Institute. And the second large circle that you see is HL7. So this is also body. This is healthcare layer 7 body. It's also accredited by American National Standards Institute. But what you'll see here right away, and obviously we intentionally showed it this way, that these two circles do not overlap. So these subcommittees do not really have any connections, so they are not overlapping circles. So they cover completely different things, except for this 275 message, and we'll touch and we'll explain what that is in a bit. So ASC X12, what does it stand for? It's a subcommittee on the ANSI Institute. X12 just stands for, it just happens so that it's a number 12 subcommittee. It's a really sequential number. It could have been number 7, number 100, or whatever. It just happened to be that it's number 12. It doesn't stand for anything. It doesn't stand for what is covered. The number of what is covered is just the number of the committee. ASC X12 is responsible for EDI and for XML messaging standards for the electronic data exchange and XML messaging standards, right, across all of the industries. So across financial, insurance, whatever, the transportation, any of the industry that you can think of. Then as you dig deeper, as you dive or as you dig deeper, as you dive deeper, you see that there is a ASC X12N. This is the subcommittee under ASC X12 that are responsible for defining and designing insurance industry EDI and XML messages. And then if you go even deeper, so you'll see the last circle right here. It's X12N 5010 EDI transaction. So X12N version 5010. So this is the latest set of messages that are covering that are created within the scope of insurance committee, that are covering that. This is really subset of messages that satisfy HIPAA requirements. So what you see here is on January 1st, 2012, new version of ASC X12 005010 and CPDP D0 became effective, replacing the previous ASC X12 004010 and NCPDP 51 mandate. NCPDP stands for, this is a drug. This is for drugs, right? So this is drug governing organization. So this is the new set of messages that became effective from 2012. So you see that there are 3 837 messages: PI and D, professional, institutional, and dental. There is 835 ERA, 270 to 71 for eligibility. Then 2 messages, 76 to 77 for claim status, and 278 for referrals authorizations. So here on this side, so you see just a little bit more extended explanation. So 37, all 3, they cover healthcare, health claims, and equivalent encounter information. Equivalent encounter information, obviously, like under programs such as HMO, you know that HMO has capitated payments, so there is no really claims per encounter per se, but still encounter has to be information has to be captured and documented. So 837 transactions covered for that. Then enrollment, disenrollments covered by 834 to 70 to 71. Your inquiry and response for eligibility. 835 for remittance, so for payments. 820 for healthcare premium payments. 76, 77 for claim status. 78 certifications for referrals. 837 for coordination of benefits, and 275 is your extended, is your transaction for attaching additional for electronic attachments to your claims. So if you need to attach any other information, so you'll use 275. And the interesting part about 275 is because it's an EDI transaction, but it's actually, and shown here, it's actually an EDI transaction, but it's actually wrapped around HL7 message, right? So this is the only point of interlap or overlap between ASC X12N format and HL7. So another thing to get out of this slide is that HL7 has versions, and version 2, it's probably the version that's the most used in the industry right nowadays. And version 2 is basically the format of the message is really kind of EDI-ish, right? HL7 version 3 came out with the XML view, so this is new version, but again, all of the healthcare systems being really dinosaurs, and been very slow to upgrade and update and everything to move to the modern state. So they're still using version 2, but HL7.3 is what ideally the companies and what providers should what providers should be using. And FHIR is another format. FHIR is really the format that that's very young, that is currently in its infancy. We'll take a look at what it is, where it came out from, but you already see from this diagram that it's part of HL7. And again, it's very new, very young, but this is really a future direction. So if you are using HL7 format, I would definitely recommend you to look at the FHIR format, because it's based on managed APIs, it's based on RESTful Web APIs, and this is really the future direction for messaging, for electronic interchange by messaging. So let's take a look at comparing what is. Let's compare HL7 and X12N messages. So side by side, what they're used for, the applicability areas, the differences, and so forth. So let's have a quick run. So what I did here is I put together the comparison, the comparison table. On the left, you see the criteria. The criteria that I use to compare the things, and then I have HL7 and X12. So let's look at the first one: main goal and purpose. So HL7 is used for the following: send and receive patient admission, registration, discharge, and transfer. So EDT type messages, queries, resource and patient scheduling, demographics update. So you can read all of this here. X12, as I said, pretty much covers about 12 messages. So it's actually interesting that X12 doesn't stand for anything, but X12 covers about a dozen of transactions. So X12, sort of easy way to remember, X12 covers 12 messages. That's fairly accurate. So it covers eligibility verification, eligibility enrollment, disenrollment, referrals, authorizations, coordination of benefits, premium payments, and then claim processing. So claim and counter information, payments, remittance, and status. Okay, so this is what's covered by HL7 and X12. Philosophy approach: HL7 is very sort of event-based, very small messages. So communicates information about given event as soon as it's known, right there, right at the time. X12 waits until it receives. You do not communicate by X12 until you receive the full story. Events versus transactions based. Obviously, HL7 is very FHIR rapid, so FHIR events. So as soon as you receive events, you send a message. X12 is transaction based. So again, you're waiting for the whole information to be received. Levels and completeness, macro versus micro. HL7 you use at the micro level. So as soon as you know a piece of information, you send it. It's message, real time, FHIR right away. X12 is macro level, so granularity. So HL7 fine grained messages, so tiny messages, only a few hundred bytes in length, called the sound bytes of the healthcare IT world. X12 is coarse grained, so they're more like full length, unabridged and annotated dissertations. Sequence and affinity. HL7, again, FHIR forget, very rapid, and the sequence is very important because, for example, even if you look at ADT, you want to know about the transfer before the discharge, right? So the sequence is very important. HL7, you kind of you get that full story, so the sequence is sort of already embedded, burned in to the transaction. So timeliness. HL7 right now, as soon as it's available. X12 later, when all information becomes available. Real time versus batch. HL7 now, real time, near instantaneous. X12 batch. Frequency, often, now, again, FHIR, as soon as you know. X12 is often delivered in large, hourly, daily, weekly batches, and so forth. And HIPAA compliance, you already saw on the previous slide that HL7 has minimal participation in HIPAA approval at this point, only 275 transaction, which encompasses HL7 message, falls on the HIPAA. HIPAA transactions, on the other hand, on X12 are defined and chosen subset of X12 and transactions. And quick look at HL7 FHIR Web API. So FHIR, pronounced as FHIR, stands for Fast Healthcare and Interoperability Resources. It's a next generation standard under HL7. Makes use of the latest web-based standards, move away from document-centric or coarse-grained approach to data-centric approach. links, you can look at the HL7.org and propose it's been proposed as Web API framework. Based, the format is JSON XML, and security is OAuth 2.0. Thank you so much for your attention.